Good morning. It is an absolutely beautiful Sunday here in Sitka. I did not think that this was going to happen. I thought it was forecasted to be like 40 and raining every single day for the next week, and I was not looking forward to it. And so I was pleasantly surprised this morning when I woke up and I realized that it was going to be a beautiful day. So behind me, this area, my goal this year, 2025, is to basically take this entire middle garden bed area. I started it last year and I just only had enough enthusiasm and energy to get about halfway through the cleanup process. There was a lot of salmonberries, a lot of fireweed, a lot of just weeds in general. I got basically the first, I would say, third to a half cleaned out. So I got all the rhododendrons completely trimmed, cleaned out. I got tons of gunk removed from underneath there, piles and piles of leaves and brush and weeds and salmonberries and everything else you can imagine, cleaned out all the way up until where these kind of wooden garden beds are. I ended up ripping out a bunch of just gunk and garbage and stuff that was left behind from years past. Got that all cleaned out, put new garden beds in, tried to clean out as many of the weeds around that surrounding area as possible. In the process of doing so, I got asparagus planted in one of those beds, some green onions. I did potatoes this year. I had radishes and beets, and there's still actually carrots in there still growing that I never pulled. I should probably pull them soon. And so those garden beds are functioning. Now the area around them doesn't look super pretty right now, but that is my goal for 2025, is to basically work on this side garden bed area and get it prepped and ready, because I am going to be building a greenhouse right down here in this little gravel spot right off the edge of our driveway. We're going to be taking down a few more alder trees to allow for lots of sunshine and light. My father-in-law, like with the chicken coop video that many of you enjoyed, he is going to be my #1 man helping me through that project. He is a very talented carpenter, woodworker, and I just kind of have my toes dabbled in some of that stuff. I feel comfortable doing some of it, but when it comes to really structural things, that's just not my expertise. I am much better out in the garden doing yard work and physical labor, and he's good at all the other pieces of that. So I'm really excited to work with him on that. We were just getting some supplies ordered, so that will be coming this spring. You'll be able to watch that project, and I think it'll be really, really fun. And the greenhouse design that I picked out is so cute, you guys. You're gonna be obsessed. So this is one of those projects today that's not going to be super exciting by any means, but it's going to be satisfying. So before spring comes and all the stuff starts to grow and thrive and all the weeds come out and the salmonberries start to attack everything I own, I wanted to spend some time clearing out the side area and getting rid of all the salmonberries so that we have a clean slate. Okay, so over here, these are intentional. Although they look similar to those, they're different. These are all, I did a big project this summer. You guys probably watched the video if you watch my channel. This is all the row of raspberries. So these are all full of berries in the summertime. They're delicious and amazing. Then once you come, you can see them kind of peeking out here. This is the thorny salmonberry chaos. So I had multiple patches of salmonberries over on that side of my property. I have since taken at least 3 or 4 whacks at them and ripped out roots as I went along and just slowly kept them down. And I've almost obliterated them. They're almost gone. And the whole part over by those trees, they were that whole lower area behind the trees was all salmonberries, and then a big portion of the garden bed over here. My goal is to slowly work on this portion as well. So I've already knocked these down at least 1 or 2 times, but I'm going to start over here today and just work my way down. And I'd like to have this whole area down to that alder tree right there completely cleared out. That way I have a fresh start for spring. And once the ground gets really soft in spring, it'll be much easier to pull up the roots. It'll also probably really stunt their growth, so I won't have as much of a chaos happening this summer. So I just am trying to give myself a head start. So I've got my Felco pruners and some gloves because these are really thorny, invasive weeds that grow here in Southeast Alaska. So we'll start here. We'll trim them all the way down to the surface of the ground. If I feel like the ground has some pliability to it and I can pull on them and rip out the roots, I will as I go along. And I'll just try to basically get as much of this down to the end of that alder tree as possible. Then eventually, this pile of wood will go back towards our wood-fired hot tub. The greenhouse will be here come this end of spring. A couple of these alders will be getting cut down. My father-in-law and I will be taking out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at least that are kind of dying, covered in moss, or leaning. So those will all go out to allow more light for the greenhouse. So I'm just looking forward to getting this a head start for the spring. It is a good day to do it. So I am just gonna put this camera down, time lapse me walking through and basically mowing down this process. I am not going to put these in the compost pile because they will continue to grow. It is crazy. So I'm going to pile them all into a pile somewhere over here, and then I will hopefully burn them at some point. Because I don't want to risk them being thrown over in my compost pile and then sprouting and growing over there. So it is a little cold out today, so having gloves is essential for that purpose, but also essential for the thorniness of the salmon berries. And these ones have a nice rubber inside, which is very protective for my hands. Got my Felco pruners. Let's begin. We'll start off right here. I am out of breath, but I got as much as I really can get done in one sitting done today. I have a little bit left here, this kind of edge right here sloping down, and then this little section right here. The greenhouse is going to go in that square, well, it's a triangle, but it's going to be right there. So I will need to clean this whole area up. But as you can see here, this entire section completely gutted out. There wasn't a ton of roots that I could rip out, so I did rip out the ones that I could get a hold of. The rest of them I just clipped, and there was a couple larger stumps like this one that was too large for my Felcos, so I'll have to come out here with my little handsaw and take off some of these bigger pieces right here and right here. They were just too thick of a stem to be able to use my Felcos. Okay, now I'm going to show you from the first angle that you saw what it looks like. It looks so much better. And then I'm also going to show you the pile of salmon berries. Here is the pile from today's job. Look at that. And like, you guys, the reason you need gloves is because look at these thorns. Oh, they're just horrible. They hurt so bad. They get you. I left with a few cuts and bruises, little spikes in my gloves, but overall came out relatively unscathed. And now this is what the rock wall and far end of this middle garden bed area between me and my neighbor's property looks like, cleaned out. Those are his salmon berries on his property. I will just ask him if I can cut those so that they don't continue to spread, in which I'm sure he will not mind at all. So I'll just confirm with him before I cut those all out. And we'll get rid of those. I don't think he's emotionally attached to his salmon berries. So this looks really good, you guys. I'm feeling very satisfied with today's progress. I am also in the next week or two trying to get the rest of this wood is split and brought up by the hot tub so that this pile will be cleared out, and it'll just make this whole area look a lot better. And so I'm going to basically leave this big pile of salmon berries here, let them dry out for a little bit, and then I will burn them when we have a bonfire. And the reason I don't want to put them in the compost pile is because not kidding you guys, they're like mint. You throw them in the compost pile and they will just sprout. It is crazy how aggressive those salmon berries are. So thanks so much for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the satisfying time lapse. Sorry there wasn't much to talk about. I just really wanted to get that done, and I'm very happy with the results on a casual Sunday. Hour or two of work, and now we're good to relax the rest of the day and feel accomplished. So see you later.